this is John for MTG Nexus coming at you with another modern quick hits video. Apologize, it's been a couple of days. Been a eventful week personally, so been kind of distracted, but getting back to the content creation here. As a friendly reminder, if you like Modern, Pioneer, and a little bit of Legacy content, please consider subscribing to the channel, as we aim to be the most informative channel for Modern and Pioneer on YouTube. So this is Quick Hits series, very similar to the old SCG articles that used to not only describe the deck, but also attempt to show it in action for at least one match. This is Yawg Thran Physician Combo that utilizes this card from Modern Horizons, which is a 2/4 for 2/2 black, protection from humans. Pay 1 life, sacrifice another creature, put a -1/-1 counter on one target creature, and draw a card. So why would you want to put a -1/-1 counter on creatures? Well, there is a effect known as Undying, which puts a +1/+1 counter on a creature when it dies and comes back. And when you combine Jarl's Messenger with Yawg, basically you get a combination that says, pay 1 life, deal 2 damage to your opponent's face, or each target opponent loses 2 life. And then beyond that, you have some other Undying creatures to gain some value with, things like Young Wolf, Strangleroot Geist. So you do have a bit of a pseudo beatdown plan in addition to whatever else you have going on. Plus you also have the Blood Artist combo to slowly drain people out. If you're at a lower life total, you just don't have enough life to Jarl's Messenger plus Yawg your opponent. Beyond that, you are an Aether Vial Mana Dork deck, 4 Birds of Paradise, 1 Noble Hierarch, and 4 Aether Vial, obviously. Very powerful cards. And then 4 copies of Wall of Roots to also provide additional mana, as this deck is very mana hungry, with 4 copies of Court of Calling. In addition to 4 copies of Court of Calling, you have 4 copies of Eldritch Evolution, so you basically have 8+ copies of every single card in your deck. Blood Artist, as we mentioned, a little bit of a draining effect. Phyrexian Revoker, pretty good at locking down something annoying out of your opponent's deck. And then Cavalier of Night is a bit of a value card, allows you to rebuy threats, as well as kill some big dum-dum your opponent has, because otherwise you really don't have a way to kill anything in your main deck. Land-based, you have 1 Dryad Arbor, 1 Colony Garden, and then other than that, you're pretty much a black-green deck with 1 Slate Splash with a Tumble Garden here, in addition to your Birds of Paradise and Vials to cast some white cards on your sideboard. Sideboard, 2 copies of Leyline of Sanctity, because this is a combo deck, you do want to protect it a little bit. Eidolon of Rhetoric, pretty good against any type of opposing combo decks that are trying to cast multiple spells in one turn. Even Mind Sensor, pretty good at disrupting opponents' fetch lands and such. Knight of Autumn is a nice multifaceted card here, whether you need a big body, gain some life, blow up an artifact or enchantment. Plague Engineer, because Plague Engineer, why not? Kira, this is a card you can't cast, but it does make it much harder for your opponent to interact with your combo. Grand Abolisher, basically your opponent can't play counter spells or really do anything during your turn. Collector Oof shuts down artifacts. Scavenging Ooze helps attack graveyards. Decay and Trophy give you a little bit of interaction against opponents. 1 copy of Thoughtseize to kind of disrupt opponents a little bit. And then 2 copies of Ale of Summer because, you know, protect from discard, protect from counter spells. Why not, right? So, that said, let's hop into a match and see how this deck does. Back here for match number 1. Or with the match. Hand's awkward. Even if this was castable, would be a little bit rough. This fan's fine. Probably put back the Overgrown Tomb. We're on a bit of a fair hand. We're up against a fellow Noble Hierarch deck. Okay. So, Geist does ain't draft? Nope. Hopefully no, we're not up against avalanche riders. Chord of Calling. Root Geist. Yep, sure. One, two, three, four, five, 6, 7. Pass here. Hopefully our opponent gets a little too cute. Sure. One, two, three, four, 5. Opponent's deck's just a whole bunch of an annoying going on. Eternal Witness, Rebuy Silence. Oh, flippin' annoying. I'm gonna get silence locked. This is so disgusting. Always fun. Those you don't understand, basically Soul Herder, Blinking, Eternal Witness. Okay. Probably want Grand Abolisher. Playing Engineer is not terrible. Maybe... No, maybe. No. Well, maybe you'll one of. No, maybe. This is like the problem, right? You don't know, like, what to take out in some of these situations. That's fine enough. Maybe I should lead on Blooming Marsh so we can cast Geralt's Messenger on time, should we happen to draw it. Ether Vial. Problem is we don't know which part of the combo we want to. Suppose if we draw either Birds of Paradise. Not exactly what I want to see here. Fairy Time Raveler. Okay. Joy. Okay. Any card I can wish for here that would deal with what they have going on. Not really. Boarded in Plague Engineer and... Because, like, we could get Silence locked right now, which is just absolutely disgusting. And then we can't cast anything because it's a fairy, but... But I guess at least we have the vials. Soul Herder. Okay. We are supposed to cut some amount of mana here? Hmm. Boarded out Revoker. We do have Plague Engineer, but that's just not really worth it. I don't know. So again, we're like missing half the combo, and it's just kind of whatever. Sure. Just has an enormously large Soul Herder. Sure. Opponent problem with the opponent is they could be sitting on any number of interaction. Could be sitting on Brazen Borrower, could be sitting on Silence, could be sitting on... getting a little jumpy. Like, I legit have nothing going on right now. I have a freaking Eldritch Evolution that might be countered by a Dovin's Veto anyway. Would they even path? Okay. Ephemerate, cool. Kind of screwing around here, see what our opponent will do. Kind of unfortunate that, you know, we got such a weird matchup. Getting silence locked game 1 and then game 2 here just drew a pile of mana dorks. Yeah, they have Ephemerate in hand, so this isn't going to work out terribly well. I guess I should have gone for Yawgmoth sooner. Didn't realize his -1/-1 ability could just, like, gun down the board. Yeah, Yawg would have been much better than I realized. You do learn some lessons in these games, right? Sure. Okay. Curious what you bounce here. Sure. Okay. Lessons learned. Overground to him. Guess that would have been better off. Better than I thought. So, yeah. Yawg's much more complicated than I gave him credit for. Yeah, it's pretty insane, actually. I guess the turn that I played the Young Wolf, I should have also gotten Yawg, forced them to decide what they're going to path. I don't know. I feel like that matchup was were tough regardless, but I did learn a little bit about Yawg there. So, definitely a deck I'm interested in exploring at some point. And it seems very powerful. Unfortunately, it also seems somewhat easily disruptible, especially when you're not aware of all the interactions that Yawg is capable of. So, unfortunately, I couldn't give this deck a better showing. This particular deck list was by... give it credit to its... original pilot, which is in the Modern Challenge. By Predicted. Their deck overall is pretty sweet, and they do seem to be the one that's primarily driving it of late, so deck is pretty sweet, but a lot of interactions, you know, even for what's seemingly a pretty simplistic combo deck, it does have a lot of interactions to it. So, anywho, this has been John for MTG Nexus with a MTG Quick Hits.